In the golden heart of Al-Andalus, a brilliant mind was born. Ibn Rushd, known in the West as Averroes, a philosopher, a judge, a doctor, a defender of reason. He believed faith and logic could walk hand in hand. That truth was not the enemy of religion, but its guide. In a world divided by belief and power, Ibn Rushd stood for thought, dialogue, and understanding. His works shaped Europe's Renaissance, long after his own people cast him aside. Today, his legacy whispers a message still needed. Dare to think, even when the world tells you not to. In this video, we'll explore the powerful words and timeless wisdom of Ibn Rushd, one of the greatest thinkers of the Islamic Golden Age. From philosophy to faith, reason to justice, his ideas still challenge and inspire minds around the world. Let's dive into some of his most famous sayings and the deep meaning behind them.
Ignorance leads to fear, fear leads to hatred, and hatred leads to violence. This is the equation.
In this powerful statement, Ibn Rushd warns us of a dangerous chain reaction that begins with a lack of knowledge. When people don't understand something, whether it's another culture, religion, or idea, they often fear it. That fear, left unchecked, turns into hatred. And hatred, when fueled by emotion and ignorance, explodes into violence.
Knowledge is the conformity of the object with the intellect.
Ibn Rushd is saying that true knowledge happens when what we understand in our mind matches the reality of the object itself. In other words, when our thoughts or beliefs accurately reflect what something really is, then we can say we truly know it. It's about aligning reason with reality, not just believing something because we were told, but because it logically makes sense and matches the facts. This reflects his deep commitment to rational thought and observation as the foundation of knowledge.
The world is divided into men who have wit and no religion, and men who have religion and no wit.
This sharp and provocative quote reflects Ibn Rushd's frustration with the deep divide he observed in his society, a split between intellectuals who rejected religion and religious people who rejected reason. In his time, during the Islamic Golden Age, many scholars were torn between Greek rational philosophy and religious orthodoxy. On one side, there were thinkers who embraced logic, science, and philosophy, but dismissed spiritual or religious values as outdated or irrelevant. On the other side, religious authorities often condemned philosophy as dangerous or heretical, relying solely on dogma and blind faith without engaging reason. Ibn Rushd saw this as a dangerous polarization. He wasn't attacking religion nor intellect. Rather, he was criticizing the lack of balance. His life's work was devoted to showing that religion and reason are not enemies, but allies. He argued that true faith does not fear questioning, and real intelligence is incomplete without moral and spiritual grounding. To him, the ideal human being is one who uses both the mind and the heart, who seeks truth through reason, but also lives by the ethical and spiritual teachings of faith. This quote still resonates today, in a world where many debates pit science against spirituality, or faith against critical thinking. Ibn Rushd's message is clear.
The one who seeks truth must leave behind the robe of obedience to authority.
In this powerful statement, Ibn Rushd challenges one of the deepest obstacles to truth: blind obedience to authority. He's saying that anyone who genuinely wants to discover the truth, whether in philosophy, science, or religion, must be willing to question inherited beliefs, cultural norms, and even those in power. Truth cannot be reached by simply accepting what others say. no matter how respected or influential they may be. The robe of obedience symbolizes comfort, status, and belonging, but also conformity. Letting go of it means risking rejection, criticism, or even punishment. But for Ibn Rushd, that risk is necessary because truth requires courage, independent thought, and deep inquiry. This was not just theory for him, it was personal. Ibn Rushd himself faced exile and censorship for defending reason and philosophy at a time when religious authorities grew suspicious of intellectual freedom.
Reason and religion are allies. Whoever opposes reason is opposing religion.
In his time, many religious authorities feared philosophy, seeing it as a threat to tradition and spiritual belief. But Ibn Rushd argued the opposite, that true religion invites reason, critical thinking, and exploration of the world. To him, a faith that fears questions is not strong, it is fragile. By this quote, he means that rejecting rational thought in the name of religion is not just misguided. It actually betrays the purpose of religion itself, which is to guide people toward truth, justice, and understanding. He saw philosophy and science as tools to deepen our understanding of divine wisdom, not replace it. For him, the Quran encourages reflection, logic, and pursuit of knowledge. And anyone who opposes those principles is actually distancing themselves from the heart of religion. This idea was bold in his time, and it still resonates in today's debates between science and faith.
Women are equal to men in what is required of them, and the reason for their lack of accomplishments is the result of their lack of education.
At a time when most societies, including those in Europe and the Islamic world, viewed women as intellectually or socially inferior, Ibn Rushd offered a radical idea. Women are not less capable, they are less educated. He believed that women possessed the same intellectual potential and moral responsibility as men. If they were given the same opportunities, he argued, they could contribute equally to society in all areas, from law and philosophy to medicine and governance. This wasn't just a theoretical view. In his writings, he pointed out that gender roles were shaped more by culture and tradition than by natural ability. His stance challenged centuries of exclusion and laid a foundation for the idea of gender equality through access to education. Remarkably progressive for the 12th century, his words remain relevant in today's global struggle for equal rights and educational access. Ibn Rushd lived in a time of tension between faith and reason, between tradition and inquiry. But he stood firm, not as a rebel, but as a bridge. He believed that truth belongs to no single voice, and that knowledge is the right of all, men and women alike. To him, philosophy was not a threat to religion, but its ally. Today, his words remind us that real progress is not found in silence or obedience, but in the courage to think, question, and learn. Ibn Rushd is not just part of our past, he is a guide for the future.